And we see churches there here and there. Very commendable. But my belief is that if we have expended the same energy, we have paid the same price that we expend on planting churches, on the health of those churches, we will have won the world for Christ. But that's not how we do it here. But I pray that through this conference, through this teaching, our attitude to churches will change in Jesus' name. I can't hear you, amen. Now you see, I title it, how we, you and I, either GO, either GS, either church member, either pastor, either whoever we are, how we subjugate and quench and destroy local churches. I drive around a lot, and when I travel around a lot, I watch out for churches. I look at churches. You know what I discover? There are more dying churches than living churches. And the simple reason is that we plant churches, we fast, we pray, we do everything to plant, and we do the building. Yes, we'll spend any amount to do a very fine building, but we don't build the people. I hope you understand, and I want you to understand properly. Building is not the church. People are the church. Long after building is empty, people are still alive. And when Jesus is coming, he's not going to rapture building. He's going to rapture people. The same amount that we committed to erecting structures and building wonderful architectural masterpiece, if we have expended it on building people, the world will not have remained the same. So may God help us to understand church properly. Okay, open your Bible with me to 1 Timothy, chapter number 3. 1 Timothy, epistle of Paul to young Timothy. When Apostle Paul wrote this epistle, Timothy was the pastor of the church in Ephesus. And that was the largest church in the whole world by then. The church was growing. At the early stage of the church, crowds were coming. But by the time Paul wrote the second epistle, the church has gone down. Why? Because of persecution of Nero and the rest. But when he was writing this first epistle, the church was still growing. Crowds were coming. And you can read about that church so much in Acts of Apostles chapter 19. It was planted by Apostle Paul. And many did warfare on 3 levels like I was teaching yesterday night. Now, and the church grew. Crowds were coming. But look at what he told Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14 and verse 15. These things write I unto thee, hoping to come unto thee shortly. That means I'll come and supervise you later. I'll come and look at what you are doing later. But before I come, look at what I want to tell you. But if I tarry long, that thou mayest know how thou oughtest to behave thyself in the house of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and the ground of truth. The word there that I want to use and emphasize and highlight is the word, how you ought to behave yourself. Of course, you agree with me that there are right ways to behave, there are wrong ways to behave. There are right ways to handle church, there are wrong ways to handle church. And unfortunately, many of us that we are planted churches or we are planting churches, even we are overseer, we are regional pastor, provision pastor, area pastor, zonal pastor, district pastor. Unfortunately, sad to say, we don't know the church. And we are handling the church wrongly. And that's why, rather than help church to grow, we kill churches. We kill churches. Like one of my book, 101 Ways to Progressively Kill a Church. At the back of the book, you see somebody in a suit carrying sledgehammer and beating the church gradually. Unfortunately, by our actions, by our behaviors, by our decisions, by our politics, by our carnalities, we subjugate and kill churches. May God help us to repent in Jesus' name. What kind of amen is that one? Okay, let's look at your material. The research has confirmed that in Africa, we plant more than 1,200 churches every month. But look at it there also in the introduction. We close down more than 1,600 churches. So there's always the shortfall of 400. We plant church, but more churches are dying than coming up. Why? It's not the devil that kills churches. It is human beings that kill churches. Jesus has said that the gate of hell shall not prevail against my church. Both the universal church and the local church. But why do churches close down? Why do churches become empty? Why do churches, they don't fulfill their potential. They become sick and diseased and die. Human characters, human behaviors. Not of members, but we that are leaders. Starting from the founder, to the pastor, to the area, to the zone, to the down to the associate, and to the workers. We all kill churches. And we are very expert in killing churches. So let's see how we do that. Let's start from biblical foundation. Of course, you can see Matthew 16:18 there. That Jesus said, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail again. Then you can see Hebrews 10:25. That says we should not forsake the assemblies of ourselves together. So as the manner of some is. Then you can see those Revelation chapter 2 verse 1 and 8. One thing our Lord Jesus sent to these churches there is that he that have ears to hear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. May God anoint your ears to hear. Amen. Because there are people who come to this kind of meeting. They have this kind of wonderful material. All this kind of classic messages from the scripture. Yeah, they don't hear. May you hear. Amen. I say may you hear. Amen. In the name of Jesus. The local church is the gathering, is the assembly, is the congregation of believers in a certain location and locality. I do say it, and I'll repeat it again. You know, national headquarters, international headquarters, zonal headquarters, district headquarters, area headquarters, provincial headquarters, regional headquarters. They are all our human invention. It's not in the Bible. They are all our administrative convenience. So we can monitor churches. They are all our human attempts to make sure that the church is okay. But you know, all those headquarters I've told you, they have done more evil than good. Good intention, but the way we go about it, problem. Like for example, if you go to some denomination now, ask them for their program for the year, or to a local church, let's fix a program for your workers and let's train workers. You know what they will reply you? They will tell you, we have not received the yearly program from national headquarters. And the national is waiting for the international headquarters. The regional is waiting for the national. The province is waiting. All down, 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 down. By the time it gets to the local church, all the calendar is filled. They'll just be looking for spaces to put one program or the other. That's not how it should be. The local church is the golden egg, golden chicken that lays the golden egg. And you know, in most of our denominations, we collect 100%, 70%, 80%, 90% of all the realizable income of the local church. Jesus gan ìdámẹ́wàá péré ló gbà. Àwa ń gba 90. Ṣó lè kọ́ ni wá? Jesus collect only 10. Abi? God asked for 10%. But we asking for 90, 100. Are we not robbers? Think about that very well. Even God, who created heaven and earth, he only asks for 10% of your income. The rest is willing. But when it becomes denomination, now, no, you must bring 90, 70, 80. Is that biblical? That's not biblical. I know they don't like me for it, but I will say it. We'll keep on saying it, or some people will change. Ọlọ́run ni Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká dọ́run. So a local church is the heartbeat of God. Because the devil is strategic, God also is strategic. He wants his church in every locality to shine as light, to dispel darkness. So when 2-3 people, that's what Jesus said in Matthew 18:20, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I'm in their midst. That's a local church. Believers in a locality gathering together. Okay. It comprises of those who are called out of sin. Am I talking to somebody? Those believers comprise of those. Who are those? Those who are called out of sin, called out of darkness, called out of serving Satan. When you only gather unbelievers together in a locality, you are doing prayer, you are ministering, you are prophesying. That's not the church of Jesus. It is your own church. His own church is people that are called out of sin. They are converted. They are called out of darkness to light. And when they meet together in 2 or 3, and they have a pastor that pastors them and nurtures them, that is the local church of Christ. The size doesn't matter. It will grow by and by. Every genuine church starts small. It's not a crime to start small. It's only a crime to remain small. Believers must join and fellowship together in a locality. So if you are a believer, you must belong to a local church. You can't say you are an international Christian. No, you must be committed to a local church. Like one sister, she went to one church one Sunday. Another Sunday, she went to another church. The third Sunday, she was in another church. So somebody saw her and said, I thought I saw you in that church last Sunday. And the other Sunday, say yes. Why are you doing that? She said, I'm an international Christian. No matter your Christianity, you must be committed to a local church. That's the testimony of the scripture. You must find a church, a local church you agree with, the vision, the pastor, the leadership, and stay there and be part of what is happening there. 2, the local body of believers is a veritable place to practice responsible Christianity. Did you hear that one? You can't say you are a genuine Christian if you are not committed to a local church. So we can watch over you, we can pastor you, we can shepherd you, and see your life, and monitor your life, and correct your life, and ask after your marriage, after your children, after your family. That's a local church. When a local church becomes too big, that we are only in numbers, we don't know people, we don't visit people, we don't nurture people, we don't shepherd people, it is out of the will of God. God wants his church to be strategically located in every locality, not in one place only. Did you hear that one? The command is go ye into the world. We should go. If you see a place where there are many churches there, go to where there are no churches and plant your own church there. All this one we are doing competition of local churches. It's not the perfect will of God. When you want to go and plant church in a locality, see what others have done. If there are living churches there, if there are life-giving churches there, go to another place. I remember there was a particular place somewhere. I knew the place. In one primary school, there were about 25 churches inside that compound. Just 5 kilometers down the road, there was no church. You know, we just do competition of church, and we'll be disturbing each other. And you know there are denominations now. They buy over your church. They buy over the land. It's our church. It's not his church. These are our human efforts. Every growing and healthy local church must birth another local church. Did you hear that one? If your local church is 3 years, 4 years, you must give birth. What do I say you must do? You must give birth to a daughter church. You don't need to start with land. You will see that what I'm saying now, I didn't talk of land. I just get a location. It doesn't matter. A church can start in a kitchen. It can start as a house fellowship. In fact, that's the best way to start. We are still going to talk about that in the afternoon. The best way to start a local church is through house fellowship, meeting in a house, and all those things. 4 or 5 people and grow. We evangelize. We start praying. Miracles start happening, and we evangelize. And more people start joining. Gradually, in 6 months, in 1 year, we can move to another location. That is how church starts. You don't start with a new church with a vacant plot of land. Buying land is not the first thing. in planting a church and even in growing a church. Your church can grow without a building of your own. These people are tired. Denominations that are healthy must allow local churches to plant more and more water. In actual fact, let me tell you one truth. When headquarters is the one planting branches, is against the scripture. It is local churches. After 3, 4, 5 years, they should be able to bat another branch. And that branch, once it is staying, after 3, 4 years, they too should bat another one. It is local branches that should be giving back to branches. Imagine in the human nature, because when I look at church very well, the church is like our human nature. I'm still coming back there to share that with you. That's how you need to study your human nature. It's like church. You will see. You know, when a man marries a woman and they give birth to a child, and the child is about 25, 30 years, is it the parent that should still be giving birth? No, the child is expected to marry and start his own family so that this parent can have a grandchild. And when that grandchild grows up, about 25, 30, he also is expected to marry and start his own family. I want to yadi. They just pay by 18. Want him be more? I hope all of you did not hear that. But it is here you see that it is denomination that keep on planting branches. And you know why they are doing that? Because of that 100%, 90% they are collecting. If you leave 90% in the local church, you are just collecting 10 or at worst 20%. They are duty bound to use that money to plant another branch. Pay their pastor, do their building, and do their hand, and plant another one. That's the perfect will of God. Church planting must be for the spread of the gospel, not for our ego, not for anything else. When we want to plant branches, it's not to be in competition with another denomination. It's not to be in competition with another church. No, it's to see that we are spreading the gospel. It's to see where there is need and where people are eager for the truth. I'm going to plant a healthy church there. Send a very good pastor there. And you know, when you are planting a new church, the number one key is not the building. The number one key is the pastor. Who will pastor that church? Don't attempt to plant a new church if you have not got a dynamic pastor to pastor that church. That's why I'm sorry for GOs that come to this kind of meeting only. You don't bring your associate pastors. You don't bring your members. You don't bring your workers. You don't need to bring your leaders in the church. You are doing yourself. You are doing yourself. You are not doing Akijon. It's yourself you are doing. Because once you hear it with your leaders, they can go home without fire. Yes, sir. How can I sit down? I'm also say I'm under leaders will be hearing the same thing with me. May God deliver you from your pride, though. It is when they hear the same thing with you that the same fire will be burning inside you. And you know, when you go to a conference, leaders and followers, they hear things differently. I'm not ashamed for my people to read the same book I'm reading, because we read different things in the same book. We see different things in the same book. I've experienced that long ago. I learned that lesson long ago. I remember I went to one bookshop. I saw one book there. It was only 2 copies. I bought one. Then I told one of my associates there, I said, go and buy one. There's another one there. So he went and picked that copy. And you know, he was reading and reading and reading and reading. When we go out for a seminar, I'll secretly go to his bag and see, hey, he has read it up to chapter 9. And me, I'm seeing chapter 2. Then when we went somewhere to preach, and he was doing more than what I asked him. He was preaching storm. The whole place was shouting. They were shouting. They were shouting. They were shouting his name. He was really ministering. When I sat there, I said, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Who sent this one? All this thing he's saying. This is beyond the curriculum. Why is he saying all that? And people are shouting. He will look at me. I will say more. I will say time. Then he eventually finished and came and shook me and said, that was a nice one. Very lovely one. Now have your seat. You know, while he was speaking, I said, I pray. I said, God, don't disgrace me here. See what this guy is doing. He's preaching beyond what I asked him to preach. And people love it. Inside that book, I opened my own book. In that chapter 2, I saw 2 stories. I jotted those 2 stories down. I put it in my story. I put it in my outline. So when he finished, he sat down. I went back there. As I was preaching, I put one of the stories. Bam! I look at him. He took Bible. I said, don't write it down. Faith comes by hearing, not by writing down. He said, sir. I said, don't write it down. I continue. I took the other story. I put it. Bam! I saw him. He wants to write. I said, don't. When we finished, we were going home. He now asked me. He said, sir, where did you get those stories? I said, those stories? I said, from heaven now. He said, no, sir, tell me. I'm surprised. I've never heard those stories before. I said, hey, you have never heard them before? He said, yes. I said, bring out your book. That book we bought together. Bring out your book. He brought it. I said, where are you? He said, I'm in chapter 10. I said, I got that story in chapter 2. He said, what? He opened it. He said, and I've read past the place. I said, there you are. There you are. We can read the same book, but we don't get the same thing. So you are shortchanging yourself when you don't bring your associates and your workers and your leaders to this kind of meeting. I don't want them to hear the same thing. Then the church will die on your head. If Jesus have done that, he has gone to heaven since he started and committed it to mortal men like you and I. If he has hidden anything from the disciples, continue. Let's move on. Churches need care and nurture too. Yes. Churches need care and nurture. We need to care for churches. We need to nurture churches. That's part of the vision I'm believing God to show to every pastor, every leader, every GO. Churches need to be nurtured. It's not enough to plant churches. It's not enough to pastor churches. We need to nurture churches. Hello? Open your Bible with me to Acts of Apostles chapter 15 and mark it down. Acts chapter 15. Churches need nurturing. 15:41. Acts of Apostles chapter 15:41. It says, and he went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming the churches, confirming, strengthening, nurturing, equipping, empowering, encouraging the churches. Did you see it in your Bible? That is Apostle Paul. And allow me to say this to you as a GO. If you are a GO and you have about 10 branches, 15 branches, stop pastoring the headquarters. Your responsibility now is to pastor your pastors and to nurture the churches. Churches need to be nurtured. Enough of us just planting churches here and there. We have churches, SYC, we have branches. It becomes our CV, our branding. What are you doing to nurture those churches? Paul said, at a stage in his ministry, he goes around, he travels around, nurturing the churches, strengthening the churches, encouraging the churches, empowering the churches, so that they can fulfill their potentials. When last did you visit your churches and your branches to nurture them? But what we do, we sit at the headquarters. If we are visiting at all, we visit like a great king. The day a GO visit a branch, they will never settle the debt until 10 years' time. That's not Jesus. That's not biblical. There are even GOs that doesn't know their pastors. Yes. As our church is too large. It's too large for God. Because no matter how the world is, God knows us one by one. He knows our name. How can you say I'm a GO of a church? You don't know your pastors. They don't have access to you. That's not the work of God. They are too busy for God. Yes, I'm so busy. Then get out. Die and go to heaven. And let somebody that will know the pastors and nurture the pastors and nurture the churches take over. That's why pastors misbehave. Because they don't have access to GO. All this regional provision, all these pastors, they are blocked access to GO. Abi? They go and tell lies to GO about local pastors. That's not the will of God. That's not how to behave rightly in the church. Hello? Are you still around for me? 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 28. Let's see what it says also. Churches need care and nurturing. Churches need care and nurturing. Look at Apostle Paul again. 2 Corinthians 11:28 says, beside those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of what? Oh, all the churches. The care. He showed care. He was caring for the churches. Don't plant a church you are not ready to care for. Churches are like human bodies. And that's why the Bible called the church the body of Christ. And you know this body, if you don't care for your body, you go die. You go kwame. Let's read what is there. Just as the human body parts, the local church as the body of Christ needs care, nurture, and careful monitoring so as to be in all-round health. After our Lord Jesus Christ, Apostle Paul is the other minister that shows so much dedication, commitment, and passion to the health and well-being of local churches. He shows so much care. Let's see example. And we can't go through all those scriptures, but you can see there, you can go through it as you use the material later. He was burdened and concerned for the churches. Are you concerned for your church? For the branches under you, are you concerned for them? Even that one, God allowed you to plant. And are you concerned? Are you burdened? Number 2, he planted and nurtured churches to grow. He did not only plant them, he nurtured them to growth. 3, he trained and empowered pastors and leaders. When last have you trained your pastors and your leaders? And they can do it on their own. Nobody can do it on their own. Even if they have secular degree, they have professorship, they have doctorate, they have everything secularly, they don't know the church. The church is an entire study on itself. And if God doesn't open your eyes, you don't walk with God, you can't know the church. By God's grace, I've moved. God has helped me. I move around. I've spoken to professors and doctors, university president, even country president. I met president. I spoke to them about church. They don't know church. So when you say our church, it is only people that have first class degree, and not those we put in charge as pastor, and they have first class degree upstairs, but their heart is empty of God and the knowledge of God. The knowledge they have about church is expired knowledge, outdated knowledge. You know, there are different levels of knowledge. He chose and ordained leaders for these churches. Yes, he chose leaders for them. He ordained leaders for them. He did not allow them to just do it on their own. He visited and monitored the churches. Did you hear that one? He visited. That's how to be a GO. That's how to be a zonal pastor, area pastor. You visit the churches and you monitor them. Like I was telling the GO in January. When Jesus sent messages to the 7 churches of Asia Minor, he always used one Greek word, aoda. He said, I know your works. In the Greek, it means aoda. I know your works. And the meaning of aoda is personal knowledge. I am among you. I have observed you. I see you. I see what you are doing. I see. I see your work. I see your good points. I see your weak point. I see your merit. I see your demerit. And you can't know a church if you don't visit that church. Like I will tell you the story of a church I visited. I saw the church and I started asking questions. So that helped me to know churches. And some people say I should come and consult for their churches. Yes, I'll visit the church. I want to go and know. I want to go and see things for myself. I want to observe things for myself. Then the Spirit of God will tell me. Then He will give me insight into what is happening in that church. Then I can recommend, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. But I need to visit. How can you say you are a leader and you have churches under you? You are not visiting them. You don't pay them a visit. Non-church visit. Not the one they will celebrate. You know the way Geo visit churches today? You remember? Okay, I remember one. Recently, where I'm living, a Geo came to their church in our area. You know what they did? Because he's coming, they repaired the road. Like governor. They repaired the road though. Where there was bump, there was no bump that day. They repainted. They did everything. Even the roundabout near the church, they fill it. They repair everything. And they make everything wonderful. And you know what? They block traffic. There was serious traffic jam in our estate that day. And you know, he only saw what they want him to see. Yes. It's like when a governor is visiting a place, they will guide you. You will only see what they want you to see. But if you don't announce your visit, you just bump in on them on a Sunday. Like one GO bumping on a branch on a Sunday. He didn't announce that he was coming. He just came. And the pastor was not in church. Yes. Don't say until you hear a story. The pastor was not in church. The pastor it was the assistant pastor that was around. Where is pastor? They say he went out there. He's soon coming, sir. And the Jew put a call through to the pastor. Pastor, where are you? He says, I'm inside the church. Where are you inside the church? He says, Sunday school is going on, sir. People have already arrived, sir. If you see church, sir, you'll be praising God. This branch will go places, sir. You? He said, yes, sir. I hope you are not lying. It was the assistant pastor that now took the phone and said, sir, the GO is in front of the church now. He said, GO is there? And where did he went to? Political meeting. Assuming the GO did not pay a visit, he will never know. He will never know that the pastor is lying. From that day, he never came back to the church. He resigned there and there. Hello. The text, he said things, he visited and monitored the churches. That's Apostle chapter 16 verse 5. He set things in order in the churches. You need to set things in order. You need to tell pastors you are the leader. You need to tell associate pastor you are assistant. And be loyal to your senior pastor. You need to tell the deacons and the elders that look, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do. You support your pastor. You don't punish your pastor, or else God will punish you. You set things in order. And you tell church, take care of your pastor. And tell pastor, you will not tell. If you misbehave, they will yell you. Yes. Set things in order. Check their service. Check what they are doing. Check what they are preaching. Check their programming. Check their finances, the income, the expenditure. Put things in order. That's what Apostle Paul did. According to Titus chapter 1 verse 5. He said the elders I left at Crete. I left you there, Titus, so that you can set things in order. We don't just leave church to just be doing any pastor, to be doing whatever they are doing. Hey, sir, we trust our pastor. People don't do what you expect. People do what you inspect. Inspect them. Recently, I had my fingers burnt. Seriously, I'm praying God to restore it for me. I trusted some people. And when I say give account, they say, yes, sir, we are okay. Yes, sir, trust us. We are okay. We are okay. What is Jewojina? Because I trusted them. You don't trust people blindly again. We trust you, but we'll monitor you. What are you doing? If somebody start telling stories of account, oh yeah, he taught truth of the scripture and corrected their errors. Churches can easily fall into errors. He strengthened and empowered the churches. He partnered with other leaders for greater impact. He weeded out disloyal and ungodly leaders. That's how to help churches. There are pastors that fall by the wayside. There are pastors that teach error. We should have the courage. After we cancel them, they don't change. We should get them out of the church. But what do we do in our denomination today? If this pastor sleep with women here, we transfer him to another place. If this pastor earns money in this branch, we transfer him to another region. Go to my Jiwo law. I remember many years back, there was this our student. He came to our school. You know, various kinds of people come to our school now with different agendas and motives now. And when they learn, finish, they go and they practice nonsense. They dump what we teach them because it's against what they want to do. So this was one of the pastors. In fact, when he was in school, he would collect money and chocolate it. There was one of my secretary by there. He was eyeing the girl. So very soon I heard that in his denomination, they want to make him an RO. I called the GO office. I said, if you are making any more the RO, not this one. You know what they told him? They say, you must have offended Akijon. Go and beg Akijon because they want to destroy your future. That's what they told him. And the guy came and he was boasting. There's nothing they can do to me. I know their secret. They made him an RO. He chopped money. He know him past Dasuki. He chopped money. And they took him from that, took him to another one. He chopped money. They took him from that church, took him to another church. He chopped money. Eventually, after about 10 years, he didn't grow better. He was growing worse. And when he was causing bad image, I heard that recently they sacked him. I even know another one that he will go to offering box and he will use glue. No, the heart of man is desperately wicked, though. And the heart of a pastor is much more desperately wicked. He will put glue, a stick, on a broom, a single broom. He will put it inside the offering box. And he will turn it and turn it. Any naira that cliff to reach, he bring it out. The one that remains is for God. Pastor. I know him. And yeah, what do they do? We take it from one church to another with evidence so that this is what he's doing, oh, not hearsay. Oh. That's not the way of the Bible. That's not the way Apostle Paul did it. He weed out disloyal and ungodly leaders. And today we see there was one church. Report came that anywhere they transfer that pastor, so women he has this uncanny gift that women will be giving birth to children that resembles him. Yes. They took him to this district, the women were giving birth, they resemble him. They took him to another place, they resemble. So eventually, when there was so much report, the authority of the church now called him, Mbo, what is happening? Why are the women giving birth to children that resemble you? He says, sir, when I get there, the church did not grow. And God gave me a gift. I started distributing. He said it. And what did they do after that? They transferred him to another place. We are destroying churches. We are destroying churches. It's not members that destroy churches. It is we leaders by our actions. I didn't say we should discipline without hearing the other side. That's not what I'm saying. But when you check the scripture, leaders that fall into error, like Hymenaeus, like Philetus, Paul said, I handed them to Satan for the destruction of their flesh, so that their soul can be saved on the last day. He cared for and showed deep welfare to his pastors. Yes, that's how to care for churches also. Paul cared for the welfare of his pastors. He said the elder that is laboring in the world is worthy of double honor. Galatians chapter 6 verse 6, Paul said that we should communicate. Those who teach us in every good thing, we should communicate also to them in all good things. He cared for his pastors. But what do we see in churches today? We don't care for pastors. One guy came to me, was telling me, says, can you believe that in our denomination, pastors are seeing any 8,000? 8,000. 10,000. And I know a denomination in this Nigeria, not only one, pastors are not anything. They say, Shebina, God call you, let that God pay you. And I know a denomination that pastors who have been working for 30 years, they have about 100 other churches under them. You know how much they are giving to them? 30,000. Monthly. And these are pastors that gave birth to the children and raised family when they believe the Bible that our children shall surround our table. So their table is very big. They don't understand that furnitures of today, they cut their table small. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay. If you don't give birth to children, you are favored. You are not barren. Give birth to spiritual children. If you give birth to one, excellent, perfect. Because you are like your Father in heaven, who has the whole world, and yet has only one begotten son. So if you have just one child, you resemble God. What's your problem? If you have two nations. Two nations are in your stomach. If you have Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. If you have four corners of the world, or you are preaching the four square gospel. I'm preaching the four square gospel. If you have 5, you are writing letter to trouble. If you have 6, you're on your way to hellfire. If you have 7, only God will deliver your soul. 8, you are lost already. Only God can bring you back to his salvation. On a serious note, ministers that really want to succeed in ministry today must never raise large family. 4. It's okay. If I have 3, excellent. Don't raise large family because you won't have time to care for them. And when your children become wayward and everything, you are evangelizing others. Satan is evangelizing your home. God will still blame you at the end of the day. But what do we have today? If churches don't care for pastors, pastors should care for themselves. Look at the ways we have limited churches today. How have we limited and subjugate churches today? Yes. To limit is to subjugate, kill our potentials, and disallow from operating at maximum capacity. In almost every church setting, you see factors that limit local churches from truly thriving for the Lord. Sorry to admit, most local churches are mere ATM to regional and national headquarters today. Did you hear that one? They are what to? ATM machine. It's just the money. The money. You know, I'm surprised that even denomination, when we plant a church and the service starts this Sunday, from that Sunday, they must be remitting their money. Government is even wiser than us. That's what Jesus said, that the children of this generation, they are wiser than we children of light. If you start a new company, even as we talk about Nigeria today, if you start a brand new company, you register a corporate affairs commission, government will give you 3-year tax holiday. For the next 3 years, you are not going to pay tax. What are they trying to do? They say they want you to stabilize. They want you to stabilize and grow, so that the tax will not affect your income. They know you have spent so much to plant that church. But what do we do in church? We that say we are people of God. Once we plant a church and that church starts service this Sunday, oh yeah? Oh, Yinda. Where's your money? Where's your money? Remi this year. Else we'll deal with you. Hey, no need. How much is coming in? How do we subjugate churches? Look at those points there. They are left to fend for themselves without what? Without support. We send a pastor to a place, start a church, and he starts a church. We leave him alone. No encouragement. Number 2, central control and domineering headquarters. Abi, you know the way I understand it? The way we rule Nigeria, that Nigeria is having big problem, is the way we are ruling churches. You know, take it from me. Until we decentralize Nigeria, Nigeria will be gbadun. You don't need to believe it. But when the center is strong and the states are weak and their freedom is taken away from them, they can't control their resources. They can't raise their own police. They can't raise their own security. They can't monitor themselves. They can't do anything for themselves. Everybody depend on the center. A lot of evils will be happening. The same thing we are doing in church. If you go to advanced countries, they have changed it for a long time. Why did they call it the United States of America? Because every state is semi-autonomous. Every state can choose their governor, can choose their law enforcement, can take a lot of decisions from themselves. And there are crimes that are national crimes. There are crimes that are local crimes. They only pay honorarium to the central post. The center is weak. The states are strong. And they are binding things that binded them together. But here, we won't allow that. So because the center, and you know in our denominations today, you know the worst place in denomination, the secretariat, the national office. All the stars there, they are like a civil servant. If you don't give them money, they won't treat your file. I mean, don't you know they collect bribe in secretariat today? They won't treat your file. Pastor Ekwele, today. Pastor Ekwele, today. They'll be laughing at you. You need to drop something. Or else the promotion will never come. Are we better than unbelievers? Constant change and transfer of pastors. That's another one. That's how we subjugate churches. Constant. I didn't say I said constant. I qualify it. Constant change and transfer of pastors. There are churches, there are denominations, there are pastors. Every 8 months, every 2 years, they must transfer pastors. We are killing churches. Research upon research has confirmed that the longer a pastor stays in a church, the longer for the growth of that church. Agree, pastors can be transferred, but under some certain conditions. If a pastor falls into sin, if a pastor has run out of resources, the church has grown more than him, and God says he should leave that place, or he has fallen into scandals, or he requested to be transferred, or there's another place he can do a better job, yeah, a pastor can be transferred. But that's not the reason we transfer pastors in Africa. We transfer pastors because his church has grown. So your church is growing, and they love you there, and they bought a car for you. Amagbe, Egbe. So that program you are doing, people are coming, Abi. You want to turn the church to your own, they transfer you. Who bought that car for you? What did you do for them? And you know when we transfer with malice. We transfer with injustice. For God's sake, when you are transferring a pastor of a 500-member church, take him to a similar church. Because spiritually, ministerially, financially, he has grown to that level. But when you take a pastor from a 500-member church, you took him to a 50-member church. You tell him that, hey, what you used to grow that one, come and grow this one. You are not like God. God doesn't demote his people. That's how we kill churches. And you know the transfer issue has gotten to a level whereby when they transfer a pastor now, people carry placard. People protest. They write letter. Do you blame them? You don't blame them. That's what we have turned them to. Ordinarily, that should not happen. But because they have seen that this transfer is injustice, somebody is just sitting in an office there, and some people went and bribed him and said, Esther, that pastor is enjoying there. Hey, take me there. And somebody will write a letter and transfer a pastor doing a great work for the Lord and carry one Olori Bruku there. And the church will go down. That's how we subjugate churches and kill churches. Disallow them from initiating and being creative in their programming. Every program must come from headquarters. Even their Bible study day, even their local revival day, even what they are going to preach must come from headquarters. That is unlike Christ. Why didn't Jesus do that for us? He just gave us the Bible and he has left for heaven. He didn't come back physically to come and be saying this is what you should preach, this is what you should not preach. Yeah, when we have branches now, all their program, the Bible study of the headquarters must be their Bible study, their programming. It will kill that local church. Because the people there are different to people at headquarters. At headquarters, they have grown in their knowledge. You have been teaching them for a long time. So they understand some basic concept. This new church, they are just coming up. You should start with new converse class. Who is a sinner? Who is Jesus? What is tithe? What is repentance? That's what they should start with. And yes, from headquarters, you are in 2 King. In fact, you are in intertestament period. The Maccabees. What does these people understand between Maccabees? The 400 silent years between Old Testament and New Testament. What concerns a sinner with that one? We kill churches. It's our stock in trade. And that's why our churches are not healthy. Making deacons, elders, and rich members to rule over pastors in churches. That's another one. Well, you know, GOs will come to a local church. You say they should recommend, they recommend. You know, there are a lot of crooked people today, arm robbers, pen robbers, who visit churches and they want to appease God with their offering. And the moment we see somebody that is gaily dressed and all that, and he bring one kind of card this Sunday, another Sunday, and when he wants to give it offering, he will deliberately open the envelope so that everybody will see, and he will be counting. Okay. He will count it so that people will see. Yes. You know, they are doing that so that the leadership can do what too? And if you're a chief, if you're a robber, a covetous pastor, when you see that one, say, hey, surely this is our deacon. Maybe I can recap a story for you. I told the story many years ago, and it's a true story. It happens in our Bola, Nigeria. Somebody did exactly what I'm telling you. And when he gave the offering, after the offering, the pastor just came and said, hey! Shokoto rubber sanda. That's not tongue from heaven. And manufacture was shokoto rubber sanda. Into meaning here. I said, come out. He pointed to him. Come out. Where's my bottle of oil? Where's my bottle of oil? I'm in the spirit. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Jesus is laughing at you. And he brought the guy out. That's why we are doing the service. The Lord spoke to him that this is our next deacon. And he ordained him as a deacon. And said he should carry his Bible and come and sit at his deacon stand. Of course, that's what that one was looking for. And he sat there. 2 months later, they did a bazaar and a Thanksgiving in that church. And lots of money came in. You know, after everybody has gone, this new deacon waited. And in the counting room where they are counting the offering, he just went there and put a revolver and hands everybody off. Now, if you love your mama, bring that money. I know as they were packing the money and they are packing the money, unknown to him, somebody escaped and told the pastor that this is what this new deacon is doing. He's hands off everybody with a gun, and the gun is loaded. And pastor came at his bar and pulled out his own gun and put it here. Say, you two hands up. The deacon say, pastor. You say, deacon. So you get gone. You say, you think say I don't know you? Yeah. How can we leave churches so that we can pray, Jerry? And there are many other points there. Thank you, sir. With all these things we are doing, just choosing everybody. We don't monitor churches. We don't visit churches. We kill churches. We take a lot of decisions. Somebody will bring in a report. That's another way we kill church. Somebody will bring a report about a pastor, about a to the headquarters, to the GO, and we won't ask. And we'll take decision. We'll behave like police station. You know, when you go to police station and lodge the first complaint, even if you are the guilty person, because you are the first one that lodge complaint, that person is in trouble. No, leaders should not behave like that. Another way we kill churches, we give power to deacons, elders, and members over pastors. So they can write petition against pastors. And we will hack into those petitions. It's wrong. We are turning people to become rebellious. If people write petition or anonymous letter, call out the person and curse him. Go and submit under your leader. If Jesus had been listening to all the petition people write him about us, will you still be alive? Or don't you know they report you to Jesus? Recently, some people went and gathered and they were praying, mentioning my name. Emi iku. Tori angeli iku lorun. Okiki ki ipojo. Ariwo ki iposhu. No, me fogede ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni. Ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni. I shall not die, but I will live to declare the glory of the Lord in the land of the living. Yes. God doesn't listen to people about you so long you are living right with him. He will tell you they are doing this, they are doing this. Pray and nullify it. And you pray and you nullify it. I told a story to some people in 2006. You know that plane crash at Abuja. The ADC plane crash that the Sultan died. Oh, a lot of people were calling each other because in the manifest of the plane, on the second day, the newspaper, there was one certain Akijon there. So pastors were calling each other, he's gone. Anyway, Boro, he's gone. Not that they say, oh, they call me, oh, eventually one of them called me. He says, that you money burn me. Angels don't die in heaven. I will not die before my time. I go be away. I go Kolodumare. Ola kijo money burn mama. Mo wa laaye. And what did I do? What was my sin? This is my sin. Do church rightly. Do it according to the word of God. Don't turn church into market or a supermarket or ATM. That's my sin. But God did not listen to them and he will never listen to them. How do we live local churches? You must pray and intercede for local churches. Number 2, you must seek after the spiritual and ministerial welfare of your pastors. The pastors, the local churches. And if you are the pastor, if you are the founder, work on your welfare. That's why you are here. That's why you are learning. That's why you are improving. That's why you come and listen. How to get a healthy church. Make sure you implement them. Number 3, you must undo all those maladministrative policies that subjugate local churches. Go and check up your administration. As you go on in the conference, be checking your administration and be writing things down that you need to change. You can't change it immediately, but you change it gradually. Hello? You must nurture, encourage, support, and mentor your pastors and their homes. That's the first thing you mentor. That's the first thing you monitor. That's the first thing you pastor. You pastor your pastor and pastor his family. That's your number 1 audience. If you are a GO, you must address their problems and provide solutions. Because when pastors have issues in their lives and those problems are not addressed, they are not solved, my brethren, they will mishandle the church of God. They will transfer aggression from their personal life to the people they are monitoring. You must provide resources that will help their personal growth. Help your pastors to grow. And if you're a pastor here, work for your own growth. Genesis 30:30. Jacob said, when shall I prepare for my own house? Prepare for yourself. Oh. Equip yourself. Come to our school. 6 months training. Every Monday. We'll be giving you detail from tomorrow. We will start end of this month. Come and equip yourself. Come and know the church. Come and know your ministry. Come and know how to behave, what to do and what not to do. Develop yourself so that you can become a resourceful leader. So that when people suck from you, you don't become dry. Improve yourself. Visit your churches and have on-the-spot assessment. Yes, visit branches. If you have branches, don't leave the pastor alone. Sneak into the church. Sit at the back. Not because you want to preach. Check things up. And if your church is big, have monitoring team from your office that will give you correct assessment. Help me to visit this church. Give me correct assessment. I want to see what is happening there. Unbiased report. Sincere, honest report. Not the people that will give you report that will favor them. Your pastors must have direct access to you and share their challenges with them. You must allow branches to initiate, to grow, to plant other branches and multiply. You must give semi-autonomy to branches in program, in services and financial matters. You must never act on hearsay, one-sided report concerning your pastors and their branches. You must never allow jealousy, insecurity, and partiality to becloud your sense of judgment regarding your pastors and their associates. You must prayerfully set growth goals for each local church and give them moral support to pursue and attain them. The Lord will help you in Jesus' name. You know my plea with every pastor, every leader? Let us stop killing churches. Rather, let us nurture churches. Let us encourage churches. Because they are the heart of God. God will not send any other medium to change the world. It is this church. And like I told you yesterday, the church can be cold. The church can be lukewarm. The church can be backsliding. The church can be worldly. Yes, Jesus knows. Because he told those 7 churches, I know your work. or either I see you. I know your work. But he didn't say he's going to destroy those churches. No. He said, I counsel you to repent. I counsel you to return. I counsel you to do a new work. That's what he said to them. And that is what he's saying to our churches. That was the 7 messages to 7 churches. Then, now, and for all ages. Because 7 is a perfect number. That's what he's saying to churches today. So as you listen, as you share, as you study together this week, if you discover our church is lacking here, yes, repent, renew, and restore. Let's stand up on our feet. The anointing that kills churches. Repeat after me. The anointing that kills churches. The anointing that subjugates churches. I reject it in my life. I welcome the anointing that strengthens churches. Open your mouth and pray in Jesus' name.